Friends, welcome to the lecture number 3. In this lecture, we will go through how to set up the Selenium web driver in Java. Say, for example, what tools you will be requiring to do the automation using Selenium and Java. So, first of all, we will be looking at where you can get all the tools, all the WebDriver exe files, and then we'll also look at how to set up sample project in IntelliJ. So before we start, let me explain you what kind of tools you will be requiring. You will be requiring Maven or the Gradle. These are called as build management tools. So you can take any of these. That is your choice. Both do the same operations or the same thing. That is, they build the project. So in our course, we will be using Maven. So I will just tell you how to download Maven. So go to this particular URL, maven.apache.org, and then there you will find a sample file, binary zip archive. You can download that and then extract onto your machine. So that is one thing you can do. And another thing that you need is IntelliJ IDEA. So IntelliJ IDEA is actually the most popular Java editor that you can download, and it is free. So there are two versions, community edition and ultimate edition. So this community edition is free for you, and for non-commercial use you can download that and use as you like. But if you are using it for the commercial purposes, you will have to pay the fee. That is licensed version of the IntelliJ IDEA, that is ultimate edition. You will have to pay money for that. So go ahead and download this community edition for our course purpose. Or you can also use Eclipse, but in this course we will be using IntelliJ IDEA because that is very popular. And apart from these two things, a very important thing that you need to download is drivers for each browser. So for each browser, like Chrome, we have got Chrome driver. Then for Internet Explorer, we have got Internet Explorer driver. And similarly for other browsers like Firefox or the Safari, we have got those drivers as well. So I mentioned over there the URLs. From here you can download those particular drivers. So if I just click on this Chrome driver URL, here you can notice that there have been mentioned or given the web drivers, Chrome drivers, and the versions are also mentioned over there. So this 2.27, that is the latest version. As you can see, the last modified date is given as 2016 12 21. So go ahead and download that particular driver. Don't get confused with version number or the sequence in which they have been mentioned over there. So most of the people go ahead and download this 2.9 version, but that is not like the latest. As you can see, the last modified it is 2014. So you need to make sure that you download the correct or the latest version of the Chrome driver. You have to go to this 2.27 and also check the date as well, because sometimes it gets very confusing. So as you can see, this last modified it is 2016, so it seems to be the latest one. And you can notice that this Chrome driver is different for different browser operating systems. Like for Linux 32, Linux 64, it's a different version. Then for Mac it is different, and for Chrome Windows you can use 32-bit. So even if your Windows system is the 64-bit, you can go ahead and use this particular Chrome driver 32-bit version. That will work on 64-bit as well. So download that one as well. And similarly, if you want to automate, say, Internet Explorer, you will have to download that Internet Explorer driver from this particular URL. So if you go to this docs.seleniumhq.org/download, here you will notice there is a section Internet Explorer driver server, and they have given this 32-bit version as well as 62-bit version. So depending upon your operating system's bits, you can download that particular version. So just go ahead and download that particular versions from there. Then similarly we have got Gecko driver. So this driver is required for the latest Firefox. If you want to automate the 47.0.1 Firefox version browser, you have to download this particular Gecko driver. And again, in that Gecko driver we have got the Linux, Mac, Windows, different versions of the particular Gecko driver. So depending upon your system, download that particular Gecko driver. Then we have got Microsoft Edge driver is also come up. As you may be aware that in Windows 10 they have introduced Microsoft Edge, that is another version of the browser. And for that they have also created the Edge driver. So you can download it from this link if you want to automate the Microsoft Edge. Then we have got this Safari driver. Finally, as you can see, this extension is there, so you can install that extension in your Safari browser. So once all these particular tools are downloaded, all you have to do is go ahead and open the IntelliJ. So what you have to do is you have to open the IntelliJ and then create a simple Maven project. It's very simple steps. You can create the Maven project in IntelliJ, and all you have to do is you have to create in the Maven project. There is a file called as pom.xml, and in that file you have to add these dependencies org.selenium hq.selenium and version of that particular API Selenium Java API you have to download. So it actually Maven will download it for you. All you already just mention these dependencies in the POM file, and once it is done, those APIs or jar files will be automatically downloaded for you in the IntelliJ. You don't need to manually download those jar files. So this is very important part of the setup, because if you don't get it right over here, it will be difficult to, you will find it very difficult and a little bit frustrating if you do not get your dependencies right in the first place. And you can notice that there are two dependencies. First is Selenium Java dependencies and another is JUnit dependency. So to do the assertions, we have got the testing framework, very popular testing framework, JUnit or TestNG. You can use any of these. So in this course, we will be using JUnit because it is the original old framework. Even though TestNG is gaining popularity, JUnit is also equally important. But if you understand how JUnit works, it will be very easy for you to understand TestNG as well. So it doesn't matter which testing framework you are using. So you can notice that this project is being loading. It's loading a project that was previously opened, but we will be definitely going to create a new project. I'm assuming that you have already downloaded and installed IntelliJ and Maven and Java as well. Now next step is to set up a project in IntelliJ. For that, go ahead and open your IntelliJ. So here you can notice that I have already opened the IntelliJ, and then click on file menu, click on new project. Over there it will give the project new project featured. On the left hand side select Maven, and then over there you have to select project SDK. So depending upon what kind of Java you have installed on your system, you can select any of these JDK. So I am gonna select 1.8, this Java version. And after that, what you have to do is you have to click on this checkbox called as create from archetype. So Maven provides various archetypes for various kinds of projects. So for working with the Selenium testing project, you will need this quick start project architecture type. Then click on next. Then you have to give the group ID. So group ID is normally in this format org.softpost. So the reverse of your domain name, and then artifact ID you can put anything and keep that version as it is. Click on next. Over there you have to select the Maven home directory. So if you have installed the Maven at a specific directory, give the path of that directory over there. Then there is user settings file and local repository file. That is, these two files are related to the Maven, and these files are created automatically. So you don't need to worry about these files at this point of time. Just note the location of that file. That is, files are generally located under your user directory and M2 directory. So settings.xml and repository. So repository is where your local repository is available. So Maven picks up the jar files from there. So first of all, it downloads the file from the remote repository, dependency files, and then puts it into your local repository directory. And then when running the tests, it actually refers those files. Now there we have got the properties for the project that we had mentioned. Then click on next, and then project name you can keep it as it is, and then click on finish. I'm just gonna make it uppercase and then click on finish. What will happen is it will create one sample project, a Selenium project for you. Once the project is created, what you have to do is you have to ensure that if you get the notifications on the right hand side regarding the Maven importing the Maven project, you can enable auto import, or you can click on enable import only once. So right now I am not getting that particular notification because I have enabled the auto import, and it is creating a new project for me. So as you can see, the build is successful and the project is created. You can notice that source directory is created and the main and test directory is also created, and pom.xml file is also created, that is at the root of your project directory. And now I have opened this pom.xml file and you can notice that it has got the JUnit 3.8.1 version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that version to latest version 4.11. And if you go to test directory, you will find that app.test class is also created. So what I'm going to do is just delete that one as well. And I'm gonna, so before we go to this start writing the code, what I want to tell you is that if you open this pom.xml, you have to go to view first of all and then click on tool windows and then click on maven projects, and in the lifecycle and the plugins you have got the maven lifecycle. So maven lifecycle says nothing but the specific tasks that are done in specific maven phases. So these are all the phases, maven phases. So for example, let us say you want to compile the source code of your project, you can use this compile phase, and similarly if you want to run the test, you can use this test phase. And to download the dependencies, you have to click on this button where you import all maven projects. So you can notice that I have added this dependency 4.11, but that dependency is not available over here. So the reason being that particular dependency is not downloaded, and reason why it is not downloaded is because this setting, there is one setting related to the maven, that is auto importing setting, so that is not enabled, and that's why it has not downloaded that particular dependency. So for that you have to send the settings, and for that you have to click on this button maven settings, and there you will go to the maven window over here, and in here what you have to do is just click on importing, and there click on import maven projects automatically, click on apply and then click on OK. You can notice that it is trying to import the maven project, and this dependency is also added over there, JUnit 4.11. Now another dependency that you need is Selenium, so I'm just going to copy this particular dependency and then paste it over here, and the dependency name is org.seleniumhq.selenium, and over there you can put the artifact as Selenium Java, and the version is 3.0.1. So these dependencies are added, and it will automatically resolve those dependencies, and you will notice that in the external libraries section over here in the left hand side, those jar files will be visible. So it is still resolving the dependencies, as you can notice at the bottom of the screen, and it is in the red color, that project name, because the dependencies are still to be resolved. And once all dependencies are resolved, it will, that red mark will removed. So since Selenium dependencies, there are lots of jar files, so it takes a while to download all those files. So in the beginning you will like it will take a lot of time, so be patient. Be a file, it is downloading all the dependencies. You can notice that now that red mark is removed from that project name, and it is importing the maven project. So on the left hand side over here you will notice that maven dependencies are also appearing slowly. Now notice that this, all these dependencies have been downloaded, org.seleniumhq, and these dependencies are downloaded because these are transitive dependencies, that is Selenium HQ depends on these particular jars. That's why these have also been downloaded. So maven will download all the transitive dependencies as well for you. You don't need to download them separately. That is the advantage and a very big plus point for using the maven projects in IntelliJ. So now that we have got all the dependencies in our project, what you have to do is you have to go ahead and start writing the tests. So over here there is one test class, and notice that the test classes always end with the test. So that is the convention that is used in the maven. So always write the tests in this format, and to create a test all you have to do is use this annotation called as add test, and import that org.junit.test. Then just use this syntax to create a test. So test1, and over there you can write whatever you want, hello, and do the assertions in that particular test. So before you rebuild or the clean the project, what you have to do is you have to make sure that the project SDK and the compliance level language compliance settings are correct. So for that, go to project structure and then make sure that your project SDK is set up properly, and then project language label is also set up properly. So normally by default it is 5.0. So instead of that, make sure that you have got the latest compliance project language level, that is 8, 7, etc. Because if you are using this 1.8 or above the JDK version, then it is recommended to use this compliance level like 7 or 8, because that will support those particular compliance levels. And if you go to models, there also you can specify the language level. Here you can notice that in the models I have got this 5.0 as the level, so you can change it over there as well. Then click on apply, and then another setting that you have to do is go to file, in the go to settings, and then you have to go to this compiler, Java compiler, and there make sure that your bytecode version and this target bytecode version is also same as you specified earlier. Then click on apply and click on OK. Now that all the settings are done, what you can do is you can run this test. So you can notice that it is parsing the Java files. It will compile source files and then create the class files out of them and put it into the target directory. So that is the default directory where Maven puts the compiled classes, and it is also showing which JDK was used to compile the files, and process finished with exit code as 0. You can notice also that this target directory is created over there, and in that there are 4 directories: classes, generated sources, generated test sources, test classes. So all the Java classes that are in this particular directory, source main Java, are put it into these classes, and all the classes in this test under test directory are put it into the test classes. And what is this generated sources? So generated sources is actually files related to the source directory, and similarly generated test sources, it contains the files related to the test directory. So that is how Maven, in the Maven you can set up the project, simple project, and then execute the simple test. Notice that we haven't used any Selenium code as of now. In the next lectures we will be writing simple Selenium code to launch the various browsers. So till then, just get your hands on this particular IntelliJ and then try to set up a simple project using these dependencies. Start with JUnit 4.11 and then add this dependency Selenium, and then in the next lecture we will see how you can use this particular classes in this particular dependency to create the Chrome driver or Internet Explorer driver instances and then automate the browsers. Thank you for watching this video.